Noa, what does it say to the Jewish community and to the wider American population when you've got Joe Biden cozying up to AOC this week? Now, it was for Earth Day, but there's a lot of other people he could have had there for Earth Day. He chose to have her, was cozying up to her, was saying, he needs to listen to her more. And we all know where she stands on this issue. She's been one of the very few Democrat politicians who's been openly supportive of these protesters, even as they've got more violent and more anti-Semitic.
Well, I'm never going to be supportive of the squad in any way, shape, or form. I believe they're a fifth column of jihadi ideology in America. I think what they say is extraordinarily dangerous. Every single one of them needs to be defeated at the polls, and I certainly hope that we can do this. So I'm not a fan of that at all. But honestly, we've got bigger fish to fry right now. The way this coordinated effort is happening on campuses, it's a real problem because it's also divided by age. The older generation is this in America, and normal Americans and normal Australians are looking at it going, what on earth are they doing? They see that it's violent. They understand jihadi terrorism. They understand the jihadi culture. They were around when 9/11 happened, so we know who Osama bin Laden is. But the younger generation that are getting their information, their news, and all their knowledge from TikTok, they have no idea. So literally right now, Zionism had turned into a curse word. Zionism, which is literally Israel's right to exist, that's it, is now been presented as a movement that necessitates the genocide of Palestinians. And that is not just not true, it's literally a blood libel because people are convinced now that it is true in the same manner that they were convinced in the 1500s that Jews are using the blood of Christian children to make their matzahs. It's exactly the same thing. So we have anti-Semitic tropes that are rehashed today and are causing all this violence on college campuses. And the young generation don't understand that their minds have been hijacked with the nefarious forces that are going to, as you said, to that person who threatened to murder Zionists. He would be the first one to go if the jihadi get their will and get made. He will be the first one to be thrown off the rooftop.
Absolutely, Noa. But I want to just go back to this university thing because I have found this absolutely fascinating, what has been going on. How much of this phenomenon do you put down to the rise of a new sort of Marxist interpretation of the world where everything is about power and victim relations, and where the Palestinians become somehow the poor victims in this whole equation and therefore must automatically be supported? And how much of this is due to the fact that countries like Qatar have dumped billions and billions and billions of dollars into universities, building buildings, endowing foundations, endowing professorships, endowing chairs of Middle Eastern studies, all to create a narrative that is supportive of their ideology, not Israel's or the West's?
Well, they're not mutually exclusive. It's obviously the perfect storm of all of this convergence happening right now in America. There's no doubt that, look, here's what had happened. The goalpost had moved. The terms of kind of like the how we see reality have shifted. And this Marxist, as you said, ideology and this concept of seeing the world through the oppressor and the oppressed and through melanin in the skin. So it used to be about merit, about the culture, the content of your personality, even about class, about money. That's no more the case. It's now about melanin in the skin and oppressor and oppressed. And once you put when you look at the world through that parameter, the Jewish community doesn't fit. We don't fit in that. And it's very interesting that these kids on college campuses, they think they're speaking truth to power. They think they're taking down the patriarchy. They think they're doing the best thing in the world and something that is new and exciting. Yet they're rehashing age-old anti-Semitic tropes and picking on the smallest minority in the world that has always been picked on. So it's a little ironic that they're even doing that without understanding what it is that they're doing and not understanding that they really are the useful idiots in the West that are promoting an ideology that is out to get them.
And just very quickly, Noa, before you go, you're a great role model for Jewish kids. What's your advice to those kids who won't wear their star or are feeling threatened at university? How can they take inspiration from you?
Well, first of all, never take your stars off. Never, ever, ever back down. Never. I'll tell you, here's the thing, right? It's a tough time for the Jewish community, for the Israeli community, for the pro-Israeli community. It's a tough time to be a Jew. However, we need to look at what's happening right now through the prism of 5,000 years of Jewish existence. And we need to look at it through the prism of every few generations. It is Passover now. Every few generations, somebody comes out to get us. Every few generations, there's somebody that's looking around saying, I don't like what's happening in society. It's the Jews. And throughout history, not only did the Jewish community survive this, we thrived it. So if I was betting, I would not short the Jews. I would definitely long.
Fantastic.
This one too. So that's what I would say to every single Jewish kid that's watching this right now. Be loud, be proud, and know that we'll be okay.
And what great words. Noa Tishby, always great to chat to you. Thanks so much for coming on Outsiders from LA there.